All right, man. What it do? Welcome back to the Trouble Next Door podcast, man. It's your host Ty Leak in the building. If you notice, we not actually in the building, but that's not the point. You feel me? Because the podcast go where the podcast is needed. You feel me? I'm here, man. Y'all know who that is right there, man. She was in the last video, the last little podcast episode, man. That's Rax, my co-host. And with us today, we got a strong black brother in our community with us, man, here to shine some light on some topics that we got. So introducing Boogie, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What you do, who you are.
I'm a single father with 3 kids.
Okay.
My journey is, what I do is a lot.
It actually might be better if you hold it, I ain't gonna lie.
Cause they sound better?
Yeah, because they playing music. I just thought about it. Yeah, that's cool. So you said single father.
Yeah, entrepreneur. But the most important thing I am is a strong black man.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get into that. So in terms of entrepreneurship, what do you do? What you got going on?
I got an online business. Online business to African apparel.
Okay.
Clothes, jewelry.
Okay.
A little bit of a whole lot.
Okay. So that'll just segue us into my first question. So what would you say would be like a key step for like young people to break that, like financial barrier that, a lot of them are trapped in working these 9-to-5 jobs?
Well, I would say the 9-to-5 job is a stepping stone if you're chasing your dreams, because you have to have some sort of finance to catch your dreams, because you don't want to just spend your life chasing dreams. You want to catch them.
Right.
So the 9-to-5 is the first stepping stone to get you to where you want. Now, the second thing is understanding how finances work. You got to save money.
Right.
It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you save. After you figure out what you want to do, figure out how much it costs to get there, and just take one step at a time. You got to take one step, but you have to take the first step.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think like in today's time that's like a more plausible future for us? Because inflation and a lot of things of that nature are going on right now during like this very messed up time. Like gas prices is high, everything is high. So do you think like, I would say how do you feel about the living situation that we're dealing with now as the younger generation trying to make a living and trying to sustain ourselves in an environment that's just the prices is just rising and rising?
The first thing I would say to the young people is group economics. I don't know if you have a family where you can get together with somebody else and collectively work together to get someplace, because if you got 2 or 3 people and you're paying 2 or 3 rents, that could be one rent. The rest of the money goes towards saving, and then you can own whatever it is, the next place of residence. Right. So group economics is essential, but you have to be taught what to do with the money. It's not like it's just gonna fall out the sky for you. And a lot of families are, especially low-income families, they don't really know the value or how to increase or gain wealth. Right. So that's why I applaud a lot of the young people right now, because even though they didn't have the best teachers, they're doing the best things. Because in this day and age, there's a lot of different ways to get income. And I see a lot of young people with multiple streams of income. So I really applaud them for that. And that's the fastest way for you to catch your dreams, is to master the money that you're making. So you mentioned multiple income streams, which a lot of people are, that's becoming like the norm now. And the internet does play a lot into that with like the newer generation. A lot of our multiple income streams are through like the internet, social media, and things like that. So would you say that, the impact of that is doing more good than harm? Because I know social media can be linked. They try to link social media to a lot of things with the younger generation, and they're doing this, they're doing that. But would you say that being allowed to us is giving us a better chance at succeeding than it is harming us? I would say it's a better chance to succeed, because I know a lot of young people now who didn't take the college route, who are not taking the 9-to-5 route, but seeing great financial success via social media, YouTube, and a lot of different things, and that wasn't an opportunity for us 15-20 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So
there's definitely a lot of people out there that ain't go to college, ain't finished, ain't working 9-to-5, but set
making 6-7 figures off of the internet, and it's not necessarily all tech. A lot of it's content,
so videos.
There's a lot more opportunity for young people now than ever before.
What tips could you give to just people in your community on what they should be striving towards doing, trying to, you know, sustain themselves in the city that you grew up in. Because, you know, we come from, you know, similar places, same places where we know what's allowed to us, what we can access. So what would you say, based on what you've known that we've had access to, what would you be able to give back to the youth of the city and say, you know, do these things with what you got?
I would say to the youth of the city is, look around you. Mm-hmm. Do you see anybody that you would want to be? Okay. If you don't see anybody you would want to be, don't do what they're doing. Okay. So you would have to look at somebody and say, I want to see somebody who's either going to where I'm trying to get to or coming from. Right. And then ask them, how did you get there? Right. And when you got there, what did it take to be there? Right. You see what I'm saying? And we don't have a lot of, the young people specifically, don't have a lot of people that they can look to with admiration in their neighborhoods and say, that's who I want to be. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them, just like you guys in particular, have stepped outside of the box because my environment doesn't have to dictate who I am. Right. I am who I am. Mm-hmm. And I'm taking every step every day to achieve who I want to be. Right. So see yourself where you want to be at and start living your life as if you're already there. If you want to be a six-figure person or a seven-figure person, you can't do the things that the people in your community are doing who have no money. Right. Understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're without the money.
Well, the first thing is you employ yourself. So you got to have at least one stream of income. And if you connected with somebody else, group economics is we is better than me. We pool our money together to get to a common goal. Another like-minded person, link yourself with that person. Honestly, we ain't gonna go the other route because that would be a derogatory information for anybody else. Yeah. But most people, a lot of young people, especially in Washington, D.C., are employable. And there's resources and there's avenues for them to be employed. Now, when you get your employment, what are you doing with the money? Are you chasing after things that are going to be not relevant to you, shoes and flashy things that try to catch the attention of others, or are you trying to catch a dream? If you're trying to catch a dream, like I said, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you save and what you do with your money. Every dollar should make two. If I'm not spending every dollar should make two. That's going, I can have a return on investment. I'm wasting my time, my energy, and my resources. Right. No, I definitely agree with all of those points. You know, I feel like a lot of people fail because they don't have like the right team around them. You know, like the right people will push you in the right directions that you need to go, and that's always just been how it is. Let's talk about this wonderful city that we in for a little bit though. So, as you know, gentrification is a real thing. What's your opinion on gentrification? That, you know, some of the things you've been seeing throughout the city. Gentrification for me is just another term for colonization. Okay. Because when I came to Washington, D.C., it was Chocolate City. Okay. Every place I looked, I saw people who looked like me. But at that time, I didn't see the government or the wards putting the money into those areas for the people who lived there. Right. But now we have this term called gentrification, meaning that others who didn't look like me comes to my neighborhood. It doesn't mean that the neighborhood becomes more valuable because somebody else comes there. It's just as valuable when we live there. Right. But when they come, I find out the resources come. Right. More businesses come. So instead of being bitter about this gentrification, I would take advantage of the opportunities because more opportunities are going to come. Right. So whatever your field of endeavor is, that brings more people that have more resources who can invest in whatever it is that you're selling. Okay. So you basically saying, you know, take that negative and flip it to a positive, you know, because we can still have something to gain from gentrification. Without a doubt, because the more people that come here, the more opportunity you have to see somebody that's outside of your mindset. A lot of times we get stuck into a box that we're in because we only can see what's around us. Right. If you haven't been outside of your neighborhood, you don't know what's outside. It's a whole world out here. Right. So when people come who didn't grow up where you grew up, they come with different ideas, different ideologies, different life experiences. Right. And you can learn something from every single body that you come in contact with. Okay. So that's why it's best to be, if you're a positive person, link yourself with other positive people. Right. Keep negativity out of your circle at all costs. Right. Protect your energy. Because like-minded people attract each other. Hey. You're going to come across somebody who's thinking like you do, who has more experience than you do, has as what you might need to get to the next level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you get to the next level, you can't think like you was when you was at the last level. You have to elevate. So when you elevate, your mind has to change, it has to evolve with it. I can't do the things I did when I was on the first floor, now I'm on the 5th floor. That's the elevation that you want to keep your mind focused on.
Right. Nah, I totally agree. Maybe not, I mean, okay, so with the gentrification thing, I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're saying, make the most of it, but from what I've seen, it's kind of like, not like all the resources and everything that these people are bringing to our city are like exclusively not for us, and they're making that known. Like, yeah, we building these nice apartments, but we're gonna make it so no people like you can afford to live in them. You feel me? And so, like, I get what you're saying to make the most out of it, but from the other side, I do see like the harmful effects of it, and you know, what it's doing is pushing more people away from this city. And that brings me to my next point, which I mean, kind of answered, but so I've been hearing a lot of talk about, you know, people saying that the black leaders in the past were wrong for saying that we should be integrated. You know, integration is kind of what was killing us and was what will kill us off. So how do you feel about that? Do you think we never should have integrated? Do you think it's better for us, or what?
I think the integration was the worst thing for the black family in the United States.
Okay.
Simply because before we tried to integrate and assimilate and imitate these people, we had everything. Now, mind you, we have billionaires, black billionaires, something we never had before.
True.
We have a multitude of black millionaires, something we never had before.
True.
But before we had integration, we owned things. We had bus companies.
Right.
We had taxi companies. We had hotels. We had banks. We had land. We had things that mattered because we had each other. Integration really set us back because they didn't allow us to integrate because it was the morally right thing to do. I don't feel like that at all.
Right.
Let's just, since we had a baseball, we were at the baseball stadium. So let's go with the first person who broke the color barrier in baseball. They didn't allow this black man to play in the white league because we were all of a sudden morally obligated to do this.
No, not at all.
We had black baseball leagues, men and women, and we were selling out in every city across America that we went to. So they said this is an economic decision. If we allow one of them to play, we're going to get all of them to come see him. So now the black baseball leagues sink.
Right.
So we lost a lot of what we owned through integration. If I could turn back the hands of time, I would have never participated in anything. Why do we want to be with somebody who don't want to be with us?
Right.
Do you go to places you're not invited? If somebody say, I don't want you to come to my house, are you going to force your way in there?
Definitely not.
It's not beneficial to you.
It's only going to hurt you. You feel me?
Build your own house.
Right.
Because the three of us can build a place that they say they don't want us to be, and then we can get everybody else who wants to come and spend dollars with us in our establishment to come.
Yeah. I can't agree more. You know, like we've seen it with plenty of cities that we had, plenty of you know, just things that we built ourselves, and they were out working and out doing all of, you know, our counterparts, whatever they had going on, like all they Wall Streets, they banks, all that. We were up, we were higher than them, but it turned into, like you said, a thing where it's like money, and you know, they realized how wealthy and how better off we were without them. So that was kind of how that played out. So I want to touch now on, like, how do you feel about interracial relationships? Because it's look, listen. Let me come down for this one, OG. Let me come down. So listen. The internet is mixed, man. The internet is mixed. Some people saying love who you love is love, right?
That's what they said.
Now the other side is saying, you know, the reason why all this interracial stuff is going on is because it's an inferiority that we witness within ourselves, and we look for amongst other races and things like that. You feel me? So elaborate. Go ahead and make your points. How do you feel about it?
Me personally, I'm very pro-black.
Pro-black.
So I think that, not to say that any other race, you shouldn't mix with them because people do what they want to do. But my personal opinion is we need to be with each other.
Okay.
Somebody that's melanated, because we need to recreate melanated people.
Right.
The reason why these interracial marriages is coming is because these people are going extinct. They don't have the ability to recreate in the manner that we do.
Yeah.
So they're linking themselves with us so that their legacy can continue. Now, when you see a black person, a black man or a black woman linking with somebody outside their race, it's usually because they have self-hate.
Okay.
And if you don't have love for yourself, then you're not going to see another black woman and see how beautiful she is.
Right.
And then you're not going to look at a black man and see how beautiful he is because you're adhering to the European standard of beauty.
Right.
So we don't have to try to adhere to them. We're the most beautiful people on the planet. We're the original.
Hey,
everything else
no
comes from
doubt,
us.
no doubt.
And I say that because the black woman is the only created being that can create 16 shades of brown.
Oh yeah.
White can only create white. Everything else comes from us. So therefore they would have to link to us for their survival.
Right.
We don't have to do that. We need to, black love and positive energy is what gets us every place that we need to go. The only reason that you are sitting here, she is sitting here, and I'm sitting here is because the determination that we had. Look at our ancestors. Look at the situations they were placed in. Unbearable, unthinkable. But they got through it. Because if they didn't get through it, we wouldn't be here to talk about it. See what I'm saying? So we didn't need anybody else. Everybody else needs us.
Right.
Not just here in Washington, D.C. or the United States of America, but on the continent.
Everywhere.
The continent of Africa feeds the world.
Right.
That's why they keep it divided. They want us to be divided because they know unification is the solution to all of our problems.
Right.
When I can see you as I see myself, I'm not gonna go out here and kill you because I look at you as my brother.
Right.
When I can see you as I see myself, then I can come together with you. I'm not worrying about that you got $2 and I got $1 because together we got 3. 3 gonna get us 6, 6 gonna get us 9, and then nobody's left behind.
Right.
So we need to be with us. The same way they was trying to be with themselves. I'm not saying that they was wrong for white on white. I agree with you. Keep yourself where you at, but let's be free to be who we are and what we are. When I look around here and I see all these black faces, I call them Negropeans. Because they're black faces with white minds.
Ooh.
They don't understand who they are. So even when you get
Negropeans.
Financially successful, the people around you don't look like you.
Right.
So you forget who you are.
Right.
Because you're trying to integrate, assimilate, and be accepted by these people. So now I'm looking at myself like I'm not even black no more.
Right.
I'm on the news looking like, look at those black folks.
Yeah.
People are you. We are we.
Yeah.
We are one. But division and mental separation is what keeps us going in other directions. But it's not everybody. I look to the young people right now because that's our future.
Right.
A lot of older people are stuck in their ways and they're not going to change. They're going to die. Dumb,
man.
Sleep, deaf, dumb, and blind. But the youth is where our future is. So we got to input into them real education, real knowledge, real understanding, self-love. And if you understand who you are and how powerful you are and the legacy of greatness that you come from, that's why they're trying to change the education system in school.
Right.
Because they don't want to teach you about your real history.
I don't mean to cut you off, but did you see? I think it was a law passed in like Florida or something recently where they were saying they wanted to teach that slavery was beneficial.
To who?
To us.
Yeah.
They said that the new curriculum would say that slavery was beneficial to us because it taught us like trades and how to work with our hands and stuff like that.
As if we didn't already know that when he was kidnapping us and bringing us here to work for free.
Right.
It's beneficial to them. They don't want to take accountability for the savage acts that they did. They don't want to be responsible for the murder, the mayhem, the robbing, the raping,
right.
the destroying of somebody's self. They want to implant you. That's why I call them Negropeans.
Negropeans. That's gonna be my new term, Negropeans. I couldn't agree with you more on all those points, man. It's crazy that, this is the reality that we live in today, where it's like black people can't wait to do nothing more than get away from black people.
Yeah.
Literally. Like,
because you've been taught for 400 or 500 years that you're not who you are.
Right.
So you're trying to be what these Europeans created you to be. Right. But if you receive knowledge of self and we got to use the internet for more than just hating on somebody else or seeing what the local trend is.
True.
We're in the age of information. So when Kanye West was saying slavery is a choice, he wasn't talking about back then when we was in chains. He's talking about now when the chains is on the break. Research this internet and find out where you come from. Find out what your history is. So it's not a mystery.
Right.
That's his story.
Right.
Our story is limitless. They won't tell you how the Moors civilized all of Europe.
Right.
On every single continent, I don't care what continent you pick. If you trace back to the origin of that continent, the original inhabitants are going to look like you. That's why they don't want to teach you the true history.
Yeah. That's definitely why they don't want us to know a lot of this stuff, because they try to say like all this stuff about how they created a lot of things when we really know that's not the truth. Like, we had civilizations way before they did and all that stuff like that, but they try to spin this narrative of like they're the ones who enlightened us when really they just stole what we knew.
That's all they did.
Yeah, definitely.
When they invaded the what we call Egypt now, it's called Kemet before that. Before it was invaded, when they found out the true knowledge, when they found out all of the civilizations that we had in the highest level of understanding to this day, in the modern day with all of these so-called intellectual people, they cannot duplicate what we did thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
With all the modern equipment and everything. You know why?
They still don't know how the pyramids was made.
And the only reason why
know.
the pyramids are still in Egypt, they call Egypt now, is because they couldn't move them. If you go to the museums in London, you're gonna find all ancient African artifacts.
Damn.
So they don't have no culture in London? No, you don't. You had to steal ours.
No.
We are the originators.
Yeah, a lot of people say American culture, black culture is American culture. You know, without us, there is no culture to none of this. You feel me?
Think about it.
At all.
Them emulating, they taught us to hate ourselves and to chase and love their wealth. But they hate us because they not us. They know how great we are. That's why they took that information and kept it from us. But in this day and time, you can't hide it no more, because I can instantaneously find out what's going on in all of the countries around the world.
Right now.
Right now,
at this
minute and second.
At this very moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 minutes left on the, okay, that's cool. Appreciate it. In your and the question I just asked you, you mentioned something about the older generation and how, you know, they're just so stuck in their ways. And one thing that I see a lot in the city is like a disconnect between us and the older generation when they do have a lot of knowledge to give us. So what do you think, you know, could be done really to like kind of bridge that gap? Because like you said, we only gonna get through this together. But if y'all not passing down what y'all know to us, we kind of just got to figure it out ourselves. You feel me?
True. And a lot of y'all have.
True.
So you have to find the few elders that are willing to pass on the information, the ones who are still free-minded.
Okay.
The ones where the programming didn't work on them. The programming didn't work on me. So any information I have, I'm willing and able to give it to you. I would be more than willing to do that in any aspect of life, whether it's finance, whether it's history, whether it's culture, whether it's self-love, whether it's self-discipline, in any aspect of life. That's why that's why I have young children. I have a 37-year-old son and I have a 5-year-old daughter.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
I'll be 58 in a few.
Ain't no way, boy.
Yeah.
Boy, ain't no way. You don't look a day over 35.
Appreciate you.
Hey, man, that black don't crack for real.
Better know it. But black don't crack is all good, but if your mental is whacked, then it's all bad.
Okay. Talk to him.
So what the seniors need to do is not act like they're afraid. Stop watching the news. The news
just
you afraid of people who look like you.
Man.
Sit down and talk to them.
Man.
Who lost them? Y'all act like these kids fell out the sky. Y'all raised them to be who they are.
Right, and
the lack of your presence made them go out into the street and find education where they could.
Right.
So we can't blame the youth. I blame the elders for not teaching them.
Right.
I came off the porch, I came off with lessons.
Right.
I came off with lessons that turn into blessings. So if you looking at the youth right now and you say they lost, then you lost, sir. You lost, ma'am. Because you lost contact with the most important people. They say the children are the future. So what type of future you gonna have if you don't invest in the children?
Right.
The young. Because that's gonna be our future. You think you're gonna leave your future to the Europeans? We already seen what they did in your past. So why you gonna leave it up to them to determine your future? Come on, man, you crazy.
This for the old heads, man. This is for the old heads.
Don't think that I got none of this gray in my beard from worrying about nothing.
Right.
This is all knowledge. This seasoning. This that good home cooking we call it.
Hey, how much time is on it now? 3 minutes? That might be enough. Like 1 more question. 2 more questions. So
I got a question. Let me get a question.
Oh wait, go ahead.
When we first started, well, I know for sure, but when we first started, you mentioned like single father, and most times, 9 times out of 10, you hear that the opposite way. You hear single mothers, you know. So I just want to know, like, how do you fit that in your schedule to make sure that you giving your kids all you need, and you also doing like what you doing like as a single father?
Well, the first thing I did was I knew that my kids are my life, so I'm going to schedule my life around my children because they're fully dependent upon me. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. I go out and make enough money during the course of the day that I can take care of my kids for the rest of the day. I don't blame their mother because that's a choice I made to make this person with them. So I never bad talk or do anything. I take full responsibility for the choices that I made in life. When you make choices, they come with consequences. So my consequence in not researching the person I co-created with brought me to the position that I'm in. But my kids are a blessing to me. They're a gift from the Creator. So that's how I treat them. Like, this is a gift from the Almighty God in the living flesh. So nothing is more important to me than my children. So I balance it by this. I don't take a 9-to-5 job because a 9-to-5 job doesn't allow me to be a full-time father. I'm not gonna do anything. Daily bread keep us fed, so I make sure I go out and get that money so I can take care of them in every aspect of life. And it's a blessing to me. And when you take care of your children, any father, you ain't gotta be a single father, you just gotta be present. And I don't wanna hear anything about your baby moms because your baby mom ain't got nothing to do with you. If you wanna be a part of your children's life, nobody can stop you from doing that except for yourself. That's why I'm a full-time father, and I wouldn't have it no other way.
We need a lot more of that, man. We need a lot more of that.
Niggas need new pappies. New pappies. How much time to say? 2 minutes? All right. Gotta give out. Maybe ask 2 questions. So I don't know if you've been like looking at, you know, like the entertainment and what's been going on and how, you know, like a lot of roles that were originally booked for white people now have black faces in them. And they're sort of using that as like a form of reparations for us, but like that's not what we want. For instance, the Little Mermaid movie, making her black. They was, you know, inclusion, everybody matters, but when it comes to the things that really matter, we don't get those. How do you feel about, you know, them including us in their art, including us in all these things they can profit from when it comes to what we really need, you know, the key.
If you want to give reparations, you have to give us money because this country was built off the wealth that we never received.
Okay.
And like you spoke on earlier, when we had black communities like Black Wall Street, Central Park, Rosewood, all around the country, we were doing progressively more successful than our counterparts. So when they put that little black mermaid in the movie, it ain't because they like black people, it's because they like black dollars. Because all the black people are going to come and see the movie. When they did the Black Panther, it wasn't about the Black Panther Party, who was standing up for black people. The reason why the WIC program is currently in place was because of the Black Panther Party.
Right.
So Marvel Comics took the Black Panther and had us cheering for some fictitious place called Wakanda.
Right.
So that every black person in America can come and fill up the box office so they can fill up their pockets. So it's all economics. It comes down to the black dollar. That's what they really want. They don't want reparations for black people. They're not morally righteous now all of a sudden. They know that the black dollar is very strong because they've trained us to be consumers.
Right.
We can't wait to spend our money.
Right.
Like it's a burning a hole in our pocket. We gotta give it to somebody else. And who better to give it to than them? That's what they're saying. So we want that money.
Right.
So it's all about the money. Hollywood is fictitious. Nothing in there is real.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more with, you know, it's really all just a show. Just something to satisfy us for the moment while they continue to do whatever they need to behind the scenes and continue to pull the strings and ignore our real needs. They just give us, like, you know, a little treat here, a treat there so we can shut up for a second, be blinded for a second, forget for a second until they hit us with something else. Now we upset again. Then they throw us another little 2 treats. Here y'all go. Then we like, oh, treats. Now we going that way. Then they doing it again. So yeah, I totally agree with your point of, like, you know, it's really just, it's a mockery, honestly. It's a mockery of what we really want and what we really desire.
It's because it's 2 Americas. It's a black America and a white America. Look at the police force and the brutality that they force upon black people. Police officers, both black and white, go to the same academy. But you don't see black officers going out and murdering white people, do you?
Nah, it's very rare.
It would be unacceptable. But when they kill us, they do it without justification.
True.
Because they've been killing us since they saw us. Police officers are slave catchers. That was the original purpose of the job. So nothing has changed. I don't know if you know it or not, but in February of this year, it just became illegal to lynch a black person in America.
Oh, wow.
In February of 2020.
Oh, wow. Nah.
But you got Asian hate crimes. You got gay hate crimes. You got all of these things for everybody else but us.
Right.
So when they put Obama in office, that was to get every black person to vote for him. It wasn't for him to do anything for anybody. He ain't had the power to do that. They wasn't going to allow him to do that.
Of course not. He was a pawn.
He was a pawn.
Just a pawn. Something for us to clap our hands to and say, yeah, we got a black man, but he don't
and run to the polls and vote for him.
Yeah.
So
That's exactly what
you
that's
say
about.
they do something to appease us. They give us a small thing just to keep it, to settle us down for a second, but they don't give us the big thing. Equality, justice, freedom, the opportunity for us to create our own wealth. Because every time they did that, you've seen it in towns all across America, we did it to the highest level because we are the supreme beings on the planet.
Right. And couldn't agree more with those points that you was making. I think, like I said, they just making a mockery out of us, appeasing us here and there, but really just they have their own agenda. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, though. It's been a good little episode, man. This is Trouble Next Door podcast, man. We got the OG Boogie in the building, man. He can drop some knowledge, some wisdom on us, man. Make sure y'all, if you're watching this, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about some of these topics. If you're feeling them, if you're not feeling them, if you disagree with anything we say, let us know, man. Anything? Hold on.
Link. We're gonna put the link down there in the description for his website. So make sure y'all check that website out, man. And go support something, man. But we back, season 3, on and popping, episode 2. We coming, man. Let's go.
Season 3, we on your ass, boy.
All right.